Desiree, and I am here with Scrappy Tales, and we are going to create a secret card. Well, at least that's what I'm calling it. I'm going to be featuring this A7 lace heart cover plate. What is great about this plate is you can get a border, you can get a thin frame, you can get a centerpiece, or you can keep it all together and use it on top of your card. Yes, I couldn't help myself. I am bringing back these truffles, chocolates, add-on to her chocolate box that you can create. And I'm going to be using that sentiment from her Sweet Bear stamp set that was released previously. I've taken care of all of my die cutting so that we can just jump right in. Now, I do apologize. There's a couple times that I get off screen because I changed the position of my camera for some reason, and yeah, wasn't used to it. So we had to go back. So all of the hearts from the chocolate truffle set, I did a lot of the solid hearts, just used the outline, and I'm going around. I did a pale pink, a red, a deep dark brown, and a black. So around the pink hearts, I'm using Pitch Flamingo, Spun Sugar. Around the red, I'm using Aged Mahogany. Around the brown, I used Ground Espresso. And then for the black, I actually used a white pigment ink. And I'm using my finger sponge daubers to put this ink around my pieces. Once that's done, these are actually, I did work on the inside of my card. I've had a lot of people ask, do you do anything with the inside of your cards? And unfortunately, no, I really don't. It's not, I am in awe of Amy R. She always does something to the inside of her cards. And I love the way she just pulls it all together. But I focus on the outside, but not this time. So I hope you all enjoy that. I have 3 extra hearts in the dark chocolate, and then I die cut out of ivory the designs of those chocolates, and I'm going to layer them. I'm actually going to do 3 layers with my cardstock so that they will have just a little bit of dimension. Once I have those layered up, I will place them onto the chocolate hearts. Now, I chose the hearts because they also pop out of this A7 lace heart cover plate. So I'm just in love with this. And when it comes to this card, I broke down each of those pieces and die cut it from different cardstocks so that you could see how versatile this plate could be. You can do so many things with it. And if you look in the upper right hand corner, you can see that. I've got the intricate red that's going around with the flowers, the heart flowers going around that. That's one panel. And then if you see that thin black line going across it, that's one of the panels that come out as well from this die, and it's separate. So all of these pieces are separate when you die cut, and then you can just build and make layers with it, which are great. Once I have these candies set up, I die cut the foil base out of some rose petal iridescent mirror cardstock by Tonic. I'm addicted to it. I know you guys have seen it in many videos, but it's just beautiful. I'm really getting addicted to iridescent cardstock. I'm not quite sure why. It's been around for a little bit. I'm late to the game, but again, remember, I live under a rock sometimes. I'm propping the chocolates up using some double-sided foam squares, and I'm going to set those aside as well. I have a smaller piece of ivory cardstock. Now, this piece, I'm measuring it right now. This piece actually measures 7 by 5.5. I'm stamping my sentiment to one side. Once I have that stamped using my clear ink, excuse me, I have a tickle in my throat, I am going to heat set that using my Recollections Gold. Okay, I'm done. Once that's heat set, you can see I scored down the middle of that. I scored at 3.5. I'm going to be using my double-sided film tape from Uline. This is a super strong tape. It's absolutely my favorite tape, especially when I use a lot of water on a panel or watercolor or heat emboss, because the cardstock will warp. So that will help it to straighten out. Now here, I'm slowing this down because when I die cut this, all of the pieces stayed in the plate, which is really what I wanted. So I real quick and off camera, I placed a lot of tape behind that and a piece of cardstock in the same color as my base, because I did not want to lose those tiny little pieces. So I apologize I didn't show that on camera, but I did not, I felt if I sneezed, they were going to blow out and not stay in this. And I wanted it to be the tone on tone. I wanted it to look like that. Now you can certainly just take that plate, put your cardstock in there and use a rubber mat to get the impression. But I really liked the deepness of that cut that's going on in there. So I'm placing that onto that mini card base, basically. So now we're going to work on the inside first. So I've got my 5x7 card base, and I'm using glue on this very delicate frame. So you want to make sure that when you place this down, that your lines are straight. That one you could see went a little bit crooked, so I'm just using my nail to push that back, and then using my nail to push in that right side as well. The hearts that I die cut, I'm just going to place in the corner of this frame. I'm not going to use double-sided foam squares for dimension or anything like these. I want these to be as flat as possible. So they're going to kind of be spread out. They are going to overlap, but I'm not going to have too much dimension. So now I'm just having fun using my liquid adhesive and just placing these down, making sure I have the mixture of the black, the red, the pink, and the dark brown. By adding the white pigment around the edges of the black hearts, it actually helped them to stand out a little bit. I think and made them different from the frame, because the frame was cut in black as well. So that's what we did to the inside. So that's the area where you can write your personal note. I'm taking now my red cardstock and just this one section from the plate, and I'm putting this on top of that rose petal iridescent cardstock. I had placed this on top of the mirror cardstock, drew around, and then I took a craft knife to cut that out, because yes, I need to hoard that. I'm sorry, yes. And you all have told me many times, Des, you should cut out the backing of that to save it. And you are right. And now I never forget. I'm going to use some double-sided tape to put along this frame. And I'm putting on 2 layers of it, or 2 rows of it. I'm going to remove the release paper, and we are going to get that set up onto our card panel. I do like using a pokey tool to get that release paper lifted. The mirror cardstock was cut to 5x7, so it's going to cover the panel completely. I'm removing the release paper from our mini card, and I'm going to set this right inside that opening. So what I did was measured that opening, and I created a card within a card. And we can do that. So when you have the first one, it'll pop open when it comes out of the envelope, and you'll have your stamped sentiment there. But then you'll be able to put a secret message on the inside of the larger panel to someone that you care about or want to tell them that you care about them. I'm gluing down my chocolates in the hearts on the mini card, making sure that they are secured. And then I'm going to come in with some gold satin pearl embellishments. And I'm going to, on the pattern, there's heart flowers within that black, small one and large ones. So I'm going to use the 2 different size pearls to put in the center of those heart flowers. I love the petals are in the shape of a heart. So there is just so much detail and versatility in this plate because, again, each layer, each level die cuts itself out. It's not a solid plate, which I think is wonderful because that gives you more ways to use it. You could just use the outer border for your card and put something else in the center. You can just use the inner section or have each layer leveled up with some double-sided foam or however you would want that to look. So great versatility. Hope you enjoyed today's project. As always, hope I gave you some tips and tricks. Maybe you have something in your stash that's really close and that you could use in a different way. As always, the products that I used will be listed down below with their links if you would like to click on that link to check out those products. And to be transparent, they are affiliate links, which means if you make a purchase using that link, I receive a small commission, but at no extra cost to you. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. As soon as I can. Oh my goodness. But remember, enjoy this process and have fun creating your art. Remember, it is art that you are creating. Don't get frustrated that it doesn't look like somebody else's. It's your art. It's your interpretation. So enjoy. But always remember what's most important to me. To enjoy the process, you always be creative. And I'll talk to you in the next video. Take care, guys.